podcast is produced by Unedited.
Yes, what is up, the people them? You are listening to the Nothing to Declare podcast with your boy Teeth.
And Kojo in the building. What's going on? Another episode.
We both got fucked up voices, bruv.
Yeah, I know.
What's that about?
I know, bruv, man.
What's your excuse?
I just think I went on holiday, I had a good time, and I relaxed, but I've just come back into it.
Well, why was you shouting for, bruv? Why was you shouting on holiday, bruv?
Why was I shouting on holiday? What did Tiffany do that pissed me off?
That's what I'm saying. Bit of arguments.
What did she do that pissed me off? She done something that pissed me off, I can't remember, and I found myself shouting. She goes, Kojo, why are you shouting? And you know, like when you're so passionate, you saw yourself, well, why the fuck am I shouting? Yeah. You get me? But I can't remember. She done some shit. I don't know.
Fair enough. Well, I've got the excuse of having to, like scream and that as part of the stuff that I do professionally. So, yeah,
he's a professional screamer.
You know what? But it kind of, I'm not gonna lie, because my style of performing anyway is kind of it's based off that kind of like metal shit. So like.
But that's constant though. So how the hell do you have a voice now?
No, because we just done it for a good period, and it just hasn't gone yet. It still hasn't gone. Yeah.
And how is the gang?
The gang are doing amazing, man. As in, like we all kind of feel. I think we feel like more unified. I think we just feel more like a clique. Because having those days together, I think that made us really kind of get closer, man.
It's living. Yeah. You don't know people till you live with them.
Yeah.
And living with them doesn't necessarily mean the same room or the same house. Yeah. It just means having to see each other every day.
Exactly. Yeah,
going to work, seeing these people, you're living with them at work. You see them every day, so you get to have a real essence of who's who in the crew and where people are weak and what needs covering and strengths and all that stuff. So that's dope, man. Because all that does as well, it makes performances better.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It makes the show tighter, you get into a rhythm, you get into a routine. So, whereas what I do is such a solo sport.
Yeah, I don't know, because does that make you, are you scared? Because I mean, look, I guess when because I was even thinking about it, because there's solo elements, obviously, because obviously when you've only got one performer, and then, because sometimes, obviously, we each individually perform our own song, so he might go on stage first, he might go on stage second, yada. So I guess, but there's still an element of a crew there, but do you feel you're out there by yourself? Is that more?
Yeah, comedy is a thing, and it's sad because even today, like I was thinking, when like a comedian's got a show, or there's never this, you don't see other comedians pushing the show.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
It's really bad, man, and I think I want to try and get to the bottom of that because we need each other.
Do you think there should be like a crew of comedians? Yeah, wait, I've got a question for you. Has there actually been a comedian crew? Like a crew of comedians that they always kind of like the way a rap crew would do it. You know what I'm saying to you? They would all do one show, but then everyone's got different verses and shit. No. Do you think there's anything in that?
Nah, because you know what it is? It's a solo sport, bro. It's a solo sport, and I think there's tours. But then you do tours and then you go back to your natural habitat.
Surely there's like room for like collaborations with comedians.
But there is. I mean, we all collaborate because we're all on. There's very rarely you get to a show where there's only one comedian. You know what I mean? Those are special moments. You know what I mean? But most of it is you're just part of a show, and even the energy of a show is like, I've always been a comedian because I've been around greats, so I've learned how it should be done. So comedy is like DJing. Perform to the slot you've been given.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Perform to the slot. Don't be a DJ and you're banging out Drake, Future, bro, at 9 o'clock.
This is like a lifelong debate though. But right? This is like, sorry, you finished.
No. So basically what I'm saying is like I've always been a comedian that I respect the position that I'm performing in. If I'm not headlining the show, then I'm there to alley-oop the last guy. Yeah. I'm there to take it up one level from the guy before me or the girl before me, so that later on there's still enough energy. That's why I get frustrated headlining sometimes, because people want to go and do the whole album, then go, and ladies and gentlemen, I know it's tomorrow now, but here's Kojo, and everyone's laughed out. There's a selfishness between comedians. If you do what you do in the time that you've been given, which you knew ahead of time, then there's the show, it's always about the show for me. The show has to be great. When I was doing Wild 'N Out with Nick Cannon, he said, if somebody comes at you with something that's hilarious, don't kill the moment with a dead comeback. Lose, because that's still funny. The show looks great. You'll get that person on another episode maybe. Do you know what I mean? But if you're into yourself and you're into your ego, you're like, nah, I gotta smash everyone else on the show. You're ruining the show. You're ruining the show because I'm not saying be less funny. I'm just saying do your time. But the moment you step over your time, then you're eating into someone else's time. And then the headliner gets told, oh, you got to do 5 minutes now. What? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's just respecting the position that you're in ultimately. So it's a solo sport. And I feel like if we can get to a place where comedians are coming together, more supportive, then the scene rises.
Because as we're talking, I'm literally just thinking now, yeah. Is there, because when I think of comedy, I just think one guy on stage, when I think of stand-up comedy anyway, I think one guy on stage, he says his shit, and the next guy comes, or next girl, or whatever, you know what I'm saying to you. But in my head, I'm thinking, is there room for like a two-man show where they both have worked jokes together and there's two people you're watching on stage? Like,
there's double acts,
in sync. Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there's double acts,
You're not feeling that. I saw your face.
No, but there's
I saw your face.
double acts
I'm not feeling that shit.
No, because remember, comedy is your truth.
Okay.
And then you can't share your truth with someone else.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like rappers, I guess, can formulate words. With rappers, it's all about the rhythm, it's all about the rhymes, it's all about the lyrics, yeah? Comedians is about you're telling me about your day. You're telling me about your life. You're not here to share an experience with someone else unless you both went on this excursion for a weekend and you both decided to do a special show about talking about it. That could work. But that very rarely happens. But anyway, that's not today's episode. Today's episode
has got something to do with a comedian though, right?
Yeah?
It has got something to do with a comedian though, right?
Yeah, man, Bill Cosby.
I mean, because look, I mean, that's your world. You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, for me, it's like I feel really sad that I feel sad for obviously the women that were
sexually abused or
or
allegedly
tricked
anyway.
into having sex, or
still sexual abuse though, man.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Sexual abuse, but tampered with.
Yeah,
is where the story's gone, and it's like you know, I'm 38, so everyone's got their sitcom that raised them. Everybody, do you know what I mean? Like the young ones might think My Wife and Kids. Before that, you might feel like it was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Do you know what I mean? But for me, my favorite show, like, you know, when I'm really, really pissed off, you know the show that I watch all the time.
What's that?
My box set of Cosby Show.
Oh really? I've never really.
Cosby Show to me was everything because that was my first image of what I believed. That's all I know. That's why I argue with anything that goes against what black people can do. Because he was a lawyer. Yeah. Sorry, he was a doctor. His wife was a lawyer. And they were rich. They had money. But the kids still went through life. You understand? There wasn't like rich problems. They went through normal problems of growing up into young adults and becoming parents themselves. And that's what that show did for me. Same with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. My Wife and Kids. Every show, like now, the best show that I've seen since The Cosby Show, in terms of its excellence and its brilliance, is Blackish. If you've never watched that sitcom, bro, it is so deep, but it's beautiful. So beautiful. And that's the closest I think I've seen to The Cosby Show. So for me, that to me is like, it's sad that what Bill Cosby has done, Bill Cosby created The Cosby Show. Bill Cosby created A Different World. So A Different World was also the show.
Before or after Cosby Show?
It was a spin-off. Okay. So Blackish now has got Grownish.
Okay, gotcha.
Which is the oldest daughter is now in college, and that's her spin-off show. Yeah. And basically Cosby Show and A Different World was when Denise went to college.
Okay, gotcha.
What Different World done for Black America was signatures for college. Everyone started going to college. Not as a must, but as a want. Because of the experience that they were seeing on The Different World.
Sorry, don't forget that part you're out in your story, please.
Yeah.
Here. So I'm saying it's very interesting you're saying that though, because I'm saying, so then I guess if that's true, and I also believe that there's reason to believe it's true now, yeah, it's obvious that media can influence a culture in like a positive direction. 100%. You know I'm saying?
But media is all about image. People want to deny it as much as they want. And that's why with what me and Tiff do online, you never hear us tell people, give anyone advice verbally. We inspire by action. Yeah. It's all by action. Every DM I get, every thing I get about me and Tiff, nothing about being perfect. We hear is, oh, she's real. Like we posting her not wanting to wear a bra. For a hot day, which pissed me off.
Imagine what fucking go. Yeah, exactly. Imagine what the fuck you thought about that.
Yeah, in front of these old white boys, are like, ooh.
A little bit of chocolate with no brow on.
Yeah. Let me get rid of him. Ooh. Right? These little Mr. Smithers and shit. Right? So, but I'm saying, what they love about Tiff is that Tiff will go on Instagram with no makeup on. So, like, there's more women out there that hate makeup than women that like makeup. Let's be real about it. So, they get an essence of a real woman. We're not out here telling people how to love. We're not telling no one none of that stuff. What we're doing is loving each other. And there's a and we share that experience with everyone. That is it. So, for me, coming back to Bill Cosby, is this man, the imagery of that is inspiring people. The imagery is now making some people go, do you know what? Not that I need to be in a relationship, but maybe what I thought didn't exist does exist. And maybe if those two can do it, maybe I have to start checking myself. I have to say, what is it about me? Because this stuff, this does exist now. Carl Loco and Cassie, shout out to them two. Two social media to have a relationship blog.
What are they called?
Carl Loco and Cassie.
Oh, all right.
And this is just a couple. Carl Loco used to work with Richard Branson. Okay. Yeah. And he's just, doing things, from the ends, doing his thing. With his beautiful girl, they had a blowout wedding that was nuts, bro. I only knew about them because his wedding pictures were everywhere, bro. And they looked off the chain. But that's imagery. So the more imagery you see of black love, you start to believe it. So when Black America saw black people like Tupac Shakur and what's her name? Denise from the Cosby Show, going to college and being cool and being fly and fashion and all the other stuff and learning as well. Because they spoke about Malcolm X in episodes, Martin Luther King and all these other stuff. You're like, man, that looks like the place to be. But through entertainment, there was a message. Go to school, get an education. You can still be fly, you can still be cool and smart. This is what this guy created. They called him America's Dad because black, white, Cosby Show transcended race. It was a show that it was a family that everyone wanted to be a part of. So did the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Don't matter what race she was. He had white people that loved the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He had white people that loved my wife and kids.
Do you know what? See, what you're saying, I like that, what you're saying, that it inspired like a new image of for Black America.
Yeah, without talking about it.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I like that. But you see, what I think happened to Cosby, though, is just that he got on his moral high ground. It seemed that his show of trying to show you that black folks can prosper without having to fucking sell drugs and shit now, within himself almost started to believe he's on hype. Well, I'm saying to you. Well,
you get what I'm saying? Yeah, but this is why I'm trying to give you the journey.
Okay, cool. Sorry.
Before we get to before we get to like what we the situation. Like this man done so much for black folks. Yeah. Now, the flip side to that is, and this is where I'm very careful about myself. Okay. Because a lot of comics will see me as a Bill Cosby, as a provider. Okay. Somebody who creates these opportunities. Somebody who puts people and from all kinds of backgrounds and raises them up and gives them a platform, Sometimes, in admission to myself, I can be, and I'm writing this in my book as well, because I know how to do it, I often fall into a trap of, that's the only way to do it. Okay. Yes, I have results. Yes, I have proof of, I know what I'm talking about. You don't have no proof about what you're talking about. But there's still more ways than one to do it. And sometimes I can come across as maybe, if you don't do it Kojo's way, then they ain't gonna get done. Maybe I don't take enough risk in other people's way because I know I can do it my way. But there's many more ways to do it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Maybe that's uncomfortable for me. So bringing it back to Bill Cosby, the whole Def Comedy Jam era happened, right? Yeah. And that Def Comedy Jam era, their idol was Richard Pryor. Yeah. Speak your mind, say what you want, wear what you want, no decorum. This is freedom. Fifth Amendment, freedom of speech. Like I can say what I like. Cosby never swore. Yeah. So when he's seeing all these Def Comedy, D.L. Hughley, Dave Chappelle, Eddie Murphy, which Eddie Murphy talks about in
one of his stand-ups.
That wasn't just a joke. This is real shit. Like Cosby starts to infiltrate the next generation, and he says to them, "No, that's not the way to do this." But because remember, there's like there's 3 black gods in entertainment. Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby's one.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who the other person is. They're not coming to my mind at the moment. But there's just 3 people that they run shit. They run shit. They're the ones that white people are going to speak to. And any black person coming through, they'll block that shit, done. They tried to do that with Eddie Murphy. But talent will always rise above any, there's people that can delay you, but you can never stop talent. If it's talented, it's gonna break through regardless. You can't stop it. You can delay it with how you think it should be or whatever. You can't stop it. It will shine through. So that's kind of what his thing was, where that generation of comedians weren't getting love from him. They weren't getting support from Bill Cosby. They were getting, oh, you should do this, and if you don't do that, then it's a problem, etc., etc. And they didn't like that. So then you see another side to Bill. Yeah? D.L. Hughley, I remember I was in New York, when I was living in New York, I went to Hot 97 because I was doing, actually, the early days, before podcasts were even going on. Shout out to Cypher Sounds. Cypher Sounds has a podcast, I can't remember what, Don Juan or something like that. And he invited me to come on it. And in the other room, D.L. Hughley had just finished having an argument, with Bill Cosby on the phone, bro. Saying about, you don't support none of the comedians that came after you. You keep telling us what to do, but there's many ways to be successful. Do you know what I mean? So that's where the line was drawn between him and the next generation of comedians. They weren't interested in what he had to say because they didn't feel that it was coming from